Hey guys, so the scammers have found their way back into my comment section again. I messaged them pretending to be one of my subscribers who was interested to find out what I had won according to the comment. I took screenshots of all of it, and hopefully you can use this information to realize when you are potentially being scammed in the future. It was very fascinating to see how clever these scammers can be and also how incredibly ridiculously dumb they can be sometimes too. So first of all, with the scam, two things right off the bat. There's multiple scams on the internet, but in regards to this one, is that one, I say it in all my videos, I will never, ever, 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 ever ask you for money. I do a lot of giveaways on this channel. I will never, ever, ever, ever ask you for money for those. Never. Not you win the giveaway, but you owe me for shipping. That's not going to happen, period. I will not ask you for money for those giveaways. Never. And second, if you are curious how to know if it is me in the comment section, there is a gray outline behind my name. It'll say Scott Ewell, and it'll have the gray outline behind it. That's how you know that it's actually me commenting on a video on my channel. If it doesn't have that gray outline, that is not me. This is true on any YouTube channel. If you go to Mr. Beast channel and you leave a comment and then Mr. Beast responds and there is the gray background behind it, that means Mr. Beast is responding to your video, or at least someone on his team is. If someone in the comment section has my name and my profile picture, but without the gray circle behind it, that is not me. That means that that is an impersonator. I hope that YouTube updates this and puts like a star next to it or something in the future to make it a little bit more obvious. But for right now, we have the gray background. That's how you're going to know that it is me responding in the comments, because I love responding to comments. And I'm going to continue to respond to comments. I'm not going to let the scammers win that. So the scammers will not have the gray box behind it. And oftentimes they will say something that says, message me on WhatsApp and then a number, or message me on Telegram, Scott Ewell, oftentimes spelled incorrectly, but not always. Message me on Discord, something like that. That's what their name is going to be. And they will always use my profile picture. If I change my profile picture, they'll just update their profile picture as well. Okay, so what happened? So I wasn't home when the bots started flooding my comment section. Someone with a name basically of message me on Telegram, I'll post it on the screen now. They would say, congratulations, you won a prize, you won a giveaway, with like an arrow pointing up to message me on Telegram. And they had my profile picture in there as well. But it is very difficult to delete all of these. Reporting basically does nothing. Removing, it would take one at a time to remove all the hundred of comments that they leave. Ban user seems to be the most effective, but again, they have so many different accounts. As soon as you ban one user, it just pops up another one. So it's basically a game of whack-a-mole, just with asshole scammers. And the thing that drives me the most crazy is that the YouTube algorithm knows that 5 seconds ago I said the word asshole. Now the video would be at risk of demonetization if I was monetizing this video, which I'm not going to do. But the algorithm for YouTube is smart enough to know when I said a naughty word, but it has trouble detecting these very obvious bot scams. How can they not tell, oh, this user just left 300 comments on this one channel and they have the same profile picture and they have the name Telegram in their name? How does the YouTube algorithm not recognize that? I love YouTube. I love being able to do YouTube. I can't pretend like I know all the inner workings of YouTube, but it is very frustrating that using bad language is automatically flagged so easily, but they can't catch this. Pretty frustrating. So it's extremely hard for me to remove all of them. I'm just a human. It's really hard to keep up with the bots. But then I realized, you know what? I have the scammers Telegram. I can message this prick and figure out what they're doing, and I'm going to document it to share with you guys what happens when you message a scammer like this. We live in a digital world that is getting more and more digital every day. We have deep fakes, we have AI voice replication, we have bots, we have augmented reality and virtual reality and AI getting better every single day. Best practice is to treat everything as a scam online until proven otherwise. I think it's really important that we all have a good bullshit detector in this digital world. And hopefully this video is going to help you realize some ways to look for those red flags so that you don't get scammed in the future. So I messaged him pretending to be one of my subscribers, and I was excited about what I had won. So I'm going to post the conversations on the screen. This can be a little bit confusing to read because remember, the scammer is pretending to be me, and I signed up for a fake Telegram account in order to message this guy. So the real me, this me, was messaging the scammer, and all of the things that I sent to the scammer are on the right column. That's what I was sending to the scammer. The dickhead scammer, all of his messages that he sent to me, the real me, are on the left. Something foolish that I did is I used my band name 90% 90s as the name for this, which was foolish because he probably could have figured that out if he just did a little bit of research that it was me messaging him, but he never figured it out. So this one, it says 90% 90s said, "Hi, I got this message from you." That's my message to him. And then he responded with hello fan. So just remember, all of my messages are on the right and all of his messages are on the left. So he starts off being friendly and saying, how long have you been a subscriber for? So I went with it and he said, congratulations, you've won an ongoing giveaway, which I don't do ongoing giveaways, FYI. Then he sent a picture of a nice Gibson, an amp, and a headphone amplifier. And this is used to entice you of like, oh, cool, this is a thing that you won. I asked him a few things like, oh, have you reviewed this before? If I asked them something like that, they would kind of just dismiss it a little bit and they would just get right back on track to their script. So first they asked for my name, my address, and my email account, which is actually very smart. They're not going to ask for money right up front. If they said, hey, you owe me money, you're going to know that that's a scam. They're setting you up for it. They make you truly feel like you had won this. And I sent them, just a spam Gmail account that I have. I didn't send them my real Gmail, but I sent them a spam one. I tried to see what would happen if I tried to get them to send me an email because I wanted to get their email, but they refused. They wouldn't get off of Telegram. They wanted it all to be done on Telegram. They refused to deal with this over email. That should be a red flag right there as well. So as far as the address, I didn't know if they would actually look up my address to see if I was just playing them, and I really wanted to see how far I could get them to go with this. So I just went onto Zillow and just looked up a random address in Illinois, of all places, is the first state that came to my mind, and sent them that, just in case if they looked up this address. But I gave them a real address of something that was listed for sale. And they asked me many times, is this the right address? Is this the right address? So I thought they kind of figured it out. I kind of tried to stall with them and change the subject a little bit. I started saying stuff like, oh, I'm new to Telegram. How do you get those reactions and stuff like that? And this is where you could tell that they had some grammar and spelling errors. They said you double check on the message instead of double click on the message, little things like that. There also were grammar and spelling errors throughout the conversation as well. That's definitely another thing to watch out for. And again, they kept asking, is this the right address? Is this the right address? But eventually they said, congratulations, your address was confirmed. And now here's where they get you. They say, okay, awesome, your address is confirmed. We're going to send that out. It'll arrive in 24 hours. But you need to pay for shipping. And they even say, sorry, I know you were not expecting this. That should be the number one red flag and you should leave the conversation immediately. However, I kept going and I said, oh, is that a delivery fee? How much can you get it for cheaper? They responded with yes. And they said, these are the options, $200, $150, or $100. And they said that these were the payment methods that they accepted. FYI, this message came up very quickly. It was very clearly a copy and paste. It took them no time to type that out. So another subscriber was messaging me about their experience with messaging these scammers, and they got their PayPal address. So I wanted to get as many of their accounts as I could so that I could report them. So I said, okay, let's do this over Zelle. This is where the biggest BS alarm should have gone off. They came back with me and sent me this, a completely gibberish email account at Hotmail, and the name was Christina Walter. That should definitely be a red flag and should not be sending these people money. The PayPal address was also gibberish, the one that my subscriber sent me over when I asked to send over screenshots of their conversation. Again, I was trying to get as many of their accounts as possible to report them, but God knows how many PayPal accounts that they have. So then I stalled a little bit, trying to just keep this guy distracted. Who knows how many chats this guy had open at the same time. So I just tried stalling, pretending like my Zelle wasn't working. So I had his Zelle and a PayPal account. So I was like, okay, let's get his Cash App account. So I said, oh, well, my Zelle's not working. Can we use Cash App? Again, the Cash App name was not my name. It was a completely different name. That should be a big red flag right there. It wasn't even the same name as the Zelle account. It's just a completely new generated name. So at this point, I started to try to pretend like I was getting a little suspect because I'm assuming that most people at this point would be like, this is getting weird. And I wanted to see how they would respond when someone starts questioning them. Like, is this really Scott? So I asked, is this really Scott? They said yes. I asked, well, who is Christina and who is Martina? These are the names that you gave me for Zelle and Square Cash. This is where they get smarter. Again, your BS detector should be going off here and you should not be responding to these people. But they got smarter and they said, oh, that's the name of the delivery service. I'm not going to get this money, but this goes to the delivery agent. Again, don't fall for it, but this is how they get you. A solid gem was when I asked them, do you trust them? And they said, sure. That, yeah. And then I started saying, well, I thought you would say, I'm not going to ask you for money because I say that in all my videos. And they started to get a little bit defensive. They said, I don't understand you anymore. This is also a red flag when they start getting really defensive when you're not sending them money. That's kind of a weird way to word it as well. And my favorite response in all of this is when I said, how do I know this is Scott? They said, feel free, man. What? Actually, I take that back. My favorite response was when I asked, when I send this, I'll get the guitar right. And they said, probably. So at this point, you could tell that he was getting irritated. And I was like, okay, I'm running out of time. I'm going to try to get this guy's PayPal address. He refused to give me his PayPal at this point. And at this point, he also wasn't responding as quickly. He was taking his time more, probably had a bunch of other chats open. So again, I knew I was running out of time to keep him on the line. I never used Google Play before, so I asked for his Bitcoin address and then said, I want the guitar to try and entice him back. I had thought I'd lost him at this point. However, as soon as I said that, he responded immediately and said, oh, I'm getting the address, and then immediately sent over his Bitcoin address. So I do want to say this. Bitcoin itself is not a scam. There is a lot of misinformation out there saying that it's only used for money laundering and criminals and stuff like that. That is not true. However, scammers love using crypto because it's non-reversible. There's no middleman, there's no CEO or help desk you can call. It is a peer-to-peer network. As soon as you send it over, that is gone. And there is another reason why I did this, and I'll explain this here in a little bit. But he just kept getting shorter and shorter with me and would take longer to respond. And I knew my time was up and I couldn't get anything else out of him. So I took a moment to cuss him out a little bit, and he immediately deleted all the messages and just stopped responding and deleted me. I'm really glad I was screen capturing everything because he erased the entire conversation. So I do hope that this gives you some ideas of what to look for alarm bells. However, one of my subscribers did unfortunately end up sending him some money. My subscriber did give me permission to share this email. Obviously, I'm not going to share the name or anything like that. I too have been scammed in my lifetime. I got scammed by a guy selling speakers in a van in a Walmart parking lot. No joke. How obvious is that in hindsight? It was so silly, but they're just such smooth talkers, and in the moment, you can fall for these things. It can truly happen to any of us. So I am grateful that my subscriber allowed me to share this experience because I think it's definitely valuable to know this. I'm not going to read the entire email, but different parts of it. So one, they said, oh, Telegram was interesting. I signed up for Telegram because I thought it would be a more official or encrypted way to communicate. That should be an alarm bell. Don't use a new service like this. You should definitely get to know it. They had a very similar experience to me. They were probably on a script saying, how long have you been a fan for? And then sent a picture of the guitar and stuff like that. The part that killed me the most was when this person said, this seemed legit because you're so generous with your giveaways. So I thought that I truly won this giveaway. I love doing giveaways. I love being able to give back to my community. I love being able to give gear to fellow gearheads such as myself. They've taken something so cool. I love being able to do that, and they're taking advantage of it. I despise these scammers so much. So they got to the point where they were asking for shipping. It was the same idea, $200, $150, or $100. My subscriber said, I don't mind paying that to help you out so you don't have to pay for shipping, which is incredibly kind of this person. But again, when I do a giveaway, it is free. I pay for the shipping. I promise you, I don't mind doing that. I will never ask you for money for shipping or anything. So this is where it gets different. Remember, I never sent the scammer money. My subscriber unfortunately did. And this is a very interesting point here. My subscriber mentioned how it was strange that it was in euros. However, what they thought was, oh, Yule sounds European. My last name sounds European. So it's completely possible that I could have had a European account. You might realize how obvious that was in hindsight, but in the moment, little things like that go, oh, well, maybe that's why it's in euros. Just pointing this out to really focus on these things. The scammer started to get really rude and demanded to redeem the money in order to send it another way. I believe it was because there was like a 4-day hold in order to send euros. Scammers do not like to have to wait for their money. And then the scammer started to get very upset. And then there were more spelling errors, obviously, because they were going off script and the scammer didn't have a way to copy and paste. This is when my subscriber realized that it wasn't me, sent me an email. I responded and said, try to cancel that PayPal payment now if you can. So I reported the accounts on Zelle, Cash App, and I tried to do it on PayPal. PayPal was pretty worthless. I also reported it on Telegram. Telegram was also pretty much worthless to report the scam. I had to know how much these scammers were earning. Part of the reason why I asked for his Bitcoin address is because I could look up his address and see how much money has been sent to that account. Obviously, I can't do that with Zelle or PayPal, but Bitcoin is a public blockchain network. So if I know the address, I can look that up. But looking up the address, they currently have over $5,000 worth of Bitcoin in there, and they have over $6,000 that have been sent to that address since it has been created over the last 2 months. And that's just with one payment method. God knows how much they've gotten from all the other methods combined, especially with how difficult PayPal makes it to just report a scam account. And the simple answer is because they keep getting away with the scam, they're going to keep doing it. If they weren't able to get away with the scam, they would stop doing it. And once the scam gets figured out, they're just going to keep evolving it. For the longest time, I had just WhatsApp scams. They would say, contact me on WhatsApp. Now it's on Telegram. I'm assuming after this one's figured out, they'll move to Discord or something new. They'll always find a way to innovate, unfortunately, with these scams. So hopefully this video has helped you out and given you enough awareness of red flags that should go off if you find yourself in a situation like this. And really sadly, the email ended with, I'm still going to watch your videos, but I think I'm done commenting on YouTube videos for a while. Honestly, I don't blame my subscriber. I honestly don't. But I really do enjoy interacting with my subscribers. I enjoy hearing how much the videos have helped you with your gear and your music journey. I enjoy hearing gear recommendations for me to check out stuff. So I will understand either way if this deters you from wanting to make YouTube comments just in general to anyone watching this. I get that. But hopefully you can at least remember that that gray background behind my name means that it's me. And that way we can keep communicating on YouTube in the comment section. I will continue to do these giveaways. The scammers are not going to win this. I did a giveaway this week. I'm going to do a giveaway next week. The scammers are not going to win this. Thank you guys again for watching, and please be safe.